Not everything that breaks you is meant to destroy you. I'm Christy. Welcome to the Unraveling.
Hi, beautiful soul. I'm Christy. Welcome to this space. And as always, when I speak about the divine masculine and divine feminine, I am referring to the energies in our gender we all carry both within us. So today, I would like to talk about something that I think gets misunderstood a lot on the twin flame journey, and honestly, in relationships in general. The healthy masculine and feminine dynamics. Because many of us are awakening to these energies for the first time, but that doesn't mean we always recognize them when they show up. And sometimes what looks like masculine leadership is actually control. Sometimes what looks like feminine surrender is actually self-abandonment. Oof. And sometimes what feels like chemistry is simply activation. That's important to understand because healthy polarity is not about one person leading and the other blindly following. It is not about one person having all the answers, and it is definitely not about one person pushing while the other ignores their own inner knowing. Healthy masculine energy creates safety, not pressure, not urgency, not force, just safety. The healthy masculine doesn't need to control an outcome. It creates a space where truth can emerge naturally. It protects, it stabilizes, it provides direction without demanding obedience. And I think many people confuse intensity with leadership, but they're not the same thing. Because if someone is trying to force a timeline, force a decision, force a movement, or force certainty, that isn't leadership. That is fear trying to regain control. And I think we've all been there at some point. I know I have. And on the other side of the equation, healthy feminine energy is not passive. It isn't sitting around waiting to be chosen. It isn't abandoning herself to maintain connection. It isn't silencing her intuition because she's afraid to disappoint someone. Healthy feminine energy receives, it feels, it trusts, it remains open, but it also honors itself. It honors its own timing, its own knowing, its own boundaries. And I think one of the biggest lessons many feminines learn on this journey is that surrender is not the same thing as saying yes to everything. Surrender does not mean abandoning your inner truth. In fact, true surrender often requires honoring it, even when it disappoints someone else, even when it creates temporary distance, even when it would be easier to ignore what your soul is telling you. Because healthy polarity requires two regulated energies, not one person pushing and one person collapsing, not one person chasing and one person rescuing, not one person controlling and one person complying. It requires mutual respect, mutual trust, mutual safety. And I think this is where many awakening connections become powerful teachers because they expose the places where we confuse love with fear, where we confuse urgency with alignment, where we confuse attachment with devotion, where we confuse pressure with leadership. And sometimes those lessons are uncomfortable. Sometimes they challenge everything we thought love was supposed to look like, but I think they're necessary because healthy love doesn't require you to abandon yourself. Healthy love doesn't require you to override your intuition. Healthy love doesn't require fear to keep it moving. It can move at a pace of truth, and truth rarely needs to be forced. One of the most beautiful things I think we can learn is that healthy masculine and feminine energies are not competing with one another, they're supporting one another. The masculine creates safety for truth. The feminine brings truth to the space. The masculine provides structure. The feminine brings flow. The masculine offers direction. The feminine offers wisdom. Neither is above the other. Neither is more important than the other. They work together. And when they do, there's less pressure, there's less fear, there's less forcing, and far more trust. Because real alignment does not have to be chased, and it certainly does not have to be controlled. It unfolds naturally when both people feel safe enough to be fully themselves. And I think that may be one of the deepest lessons of all. Healthy polarity is not about power over another person. It is about creating enough safety for both people to stand fully in their own truth. If you stayed until the end, I want to thank you for being here. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. Have you ever experienced the difference between leadership and control, or surrender and self-abandonment? Let me know in the comments below. And if this resonated, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who may need to hear it. And until next time, dear soul, stay open, stay soft, and stay sovereign. I love you all. I hope you have a beautiful weekend. Take care now.
You're not here by accident. Your soul knew. We'll meet again right here between the lines.